What's good? What's going on? What's happening, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the Believe in Your Purpose podcast. I'm your host, Demario, and the podcast is about everyday entrepreneurs who are in small business, of course, from the roles, the responsibility, and the tasks thereof in terms of what an entrepreneur's job consists of. It's never an ending day. I can tell you that for sure. And on today, we're going to be speaking with another special guest that I have, all the way from Chicago, that is, by the name of Wade Simmons. So we're going to be speaking with Wade about his entrepreneurship role. But most importantly, I want to know, how do you decompress, self care, take care of one's mental at the end of the long day? So without further ado, let's welcome my guy, Wade Simmons, to the show. Wade, welcome, bro.
What's happening with you? Thanks for having me on.
Man, everything is good. So let's get right into it. Let's jump into it, bro. Tell the audience, tell the viewers, who is Wade Simmons?
So I am a filmmaker that works in funeral service, and I'm currently training for pro wrestling.
Wow. Did you just say pro wrestling, bro?
Yeah, I got to work on these a little bit, but yeah.
Bro, that's dope. That's dope. Okay, so we have pro wrestling that's on the way that you're in preparation for. We have you're involved in the funeral home services, and then you have filmmaking.
Yeah,
Three. Now,
yeah.
whereas the average person normally has, one thing to focus on, one task, which is normally a whole lot to focus on, right? You have not two, but you have three. My brother, how do you do it?
I feel like if it's things that you enjoy doing, you make time for it. There are some people that can handle one thing, but then there are some people that can do many things.
Absolutely.
I always look at like the crocodile, right? There are some animals that only live in the water, some only live on land, but they got the privilege of both, you
For
know?
sure. For sure. You're absolutely right about that, man. And there's definitely passion there, to be juggling two and three things that you don't even feel like a lot of times like it's work, because you really and truly enjoy what it is that you do. Let's jump right into it though. So with filmmaking, I want to start with filmmaking this time around. With filmmaking, I want to know, what brings you passion? What brings you into the film industry? Like, what is it about the film industry that literally have you so um, you're all the way in, as far as I'm concerned?
Yeah, so for me, I enjoy being creative. And really, I love writing. I've always been writing since I was a kid. So, the fact that it gives me the privilege to write, that's what I love about it. Because, you have a lot of filmmakers that, they like the camera, or a lot of people love directing. That's kind of like considered the biggest job. Now, I love producing too, but above all, I love writing. To be honest, that's my favorite part of filmmaking is writing. You get to write a script, you get to sit there and create a story. You get to create characters. You get to create trials and tribulations. You get to create victories. It's an awesome career.
Right, for sure. Now let me ask you, how long have you been writing, and what's the process for your writing?
So I started writing when I was a kid. In elementary school. It's funny because when I was in elementary school, like this is funny, but like I had found in the garage like not too long ago where I wrote like when I used to write like wrestling scripts. It was funny because like they had pay-per-views, like it was like Kane versus Undertaker or like John Cena versus MVP or something like that. Like I would write down like matches, and I don't even know why I would do that, but I just, I just enjoy writing, just making up stuff.
Yeah. Hey, they say writing is a form of therapy. They said if you look
Yeah,
at
it
psychology.
is. It really is, and it's like, you get because like I feel like I said, a lot of people like directing. I directing is not my favorite part. I like writing because you pretty much get to lay the foundation for the story. It really all starts with the writer. You
Right.
know.
Absolutely. Now, you not only write, because I was able to I had the honor of watching a few clips that you sent me actually. And so not only do this man write, he's a writer, he's an actor, he's a producer, as well as director. Four hats you're wearing there, man. Four hats. Wow.
Yeah, I fell in love with producing when I went to film school because my first professional film, they made me the producer. And I had the role of like, kind of, like the money thing and, making sure everything was going smoothly. And I loved it. And, I feel like that was like intentionally for me because once I got that position the one time, I fell in love with it. So I love producing. I can definitely see myself funding my own projects, maybe helping other people fund their projects. But I love it. I love everything about it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've got to ask you real quick. Who are some of your biggest influencers when it comes to the acting, the directing, the producing? Who would be some of those that you look up to?
George Lucas, I always put him at number one. And reason being, like, I'm a very big Star Wars fan, but when I look at George Lucas, like, I listen to like his story about how he got involved in film. Like, he went to school, got another degree first. He always wanted to be an artist, but his father was like, there ain't gonna be no artist in this family. But he had a friend that got accepted, in the school, and George Lucas ended up going to school, and he didn't. And from what I remember him saying, like, he thought it was just for photography, but it ended up being cinematography. And he went into it, and then he just started making like projects that he liked. He didn't worry about going to Hollywood; like he did his own thing. And if you look at him now, he was able to sell his franchise. To Disney. So hey, he must have did pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. And basically what you're saying right there is, he took a risk. He took a
Yeah,
risk, all for himself and to see where he's at now, man. Success, greatness.
yeah. And also I'm a very big fan of Seth Rogen too.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like now this is the funny thing. Like I feel like if you're having a bad day, just watch one of his movies. You know what I'm saying? Like not everybody have that gift to make people laugh, but he's a really funny guy.
For
Really
sure.
good actor too. Very good actor.
For sure. That's good
Yeah,
stuff, man. That's good stuff. That's very inspiring to know.
yeah.
So now we have filmmaking. We know a little bit about what you do in terms of the filmmaking industry. I want to ask you about, let's see, let's go into the world of wrestling.
Okay.
I've always been curious about this world for some reason. I got a couple questions for you. And I can tell you right now, one of my first questions is going to be, is it real? Is what we see on TV, is it real? Is this stuff real, man? Like for real?
Well, I put it like this: wrestling is sports entertainment, and it is scripted to a certain extent. But for the most part, it's fun. It's I put it like this: like the high school Olympic wrestling, yes, that's real. But wrestling that you see, it's all entertainment.
Right,
It's win or lose, it's all just kind of fun. It's
right.
storytelling. Like it's pretty much like a lot of people think that it's different from filmmaking. It's not. It's entertainment. Yep.
It's definitely a form of entertainment, man, and a stress reliever. Like I gotta say,
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you get to choke slam a few people. Suplex a few people. Well, if anything, they
yeah.
be suplexing me because I'm a small guy. But
I want to know from you, why wrestling for you? Like, where does the passion for wrestling come from?
well, so to be honest, I was actually supposed to be making a documentary about wrestling, and so I went to Steve Boss. When I went, I was telling him, like I wrestled in high school or whatever. He was fine with it, but he said, well, okay, when you gonna start training?
Right,
So I'm like, the fact that he took a chance to train somebody like me, I accepted the challenge, So
right. Now,
yeah.
with doing wrestling, how do you prepare for like matches that you may have, for fights that you have coming up and everything? What's a day of preparation like for you?
So when you have a match, depending on who you are going against, you would pretty much, really work closely with that person as far as like, what moves you're gonna do, how you're gonna do it. Of course the winner is determined, but you have a little bit of wiggle room depending on your experience level. Like if you like a newbie like me, you might not want to take too many risks in the ring. Because you're still kind of learning the ropes. Now some guys and girls that have been doing it for longer, maybe they can maybe freestyle a little more with each other. Because the main thing is that, even though you have your opponent, the goal is for you to protect each other. You know, of course, it's entertainment, but at the end of the day, you both want to go home to your families, not in a wheelchair with a neck brace on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Sure. And you actually just said something, bro, that I actually never thought about. You said the goal at the end of the day is for you and your opponent is to protect one another. I never heard somebody like I've been around, wrestling has been around for like what
Yeah.
so many years, and I've never heard someone explain it that way. Like really the goal is you want to entertain the people, but
Yeah.
at the same time you want to make sure that you are protecting one another so that
Yeah.
you go home to your families and like you said,
Yeah.
not end up in a
Yeah,
neck.
it's like, okay, say for instance, I was making a Spider-Man movie or whatever. Somebody playing Spider-Man, you got the Green Goblin, of course, on the screen, you're enemies. But I mean, at the end of the day, you're working together. And wrestling is no different in that sense. You know, just think of it like an act. It's a show.
It's a show for sure. Where would you like for wrestling where would you like to end up when it comes to wrestling as far as your
Well,
career?
so for me, I am looking more for like a more of a managing role. I mean, I already got my name and everything picked out, but I mean, but I wouldn't mind doing some behind the camera stuff too. Success. You can learn from it, but you got to find your own path. You know, and the more that you take those steps, the more things will start happening. Don't worry about numbers and all that right away. Just keep doing it and keep doing it because, like today, right? I saw a post, and normally when I see posts, I normally don't like disagree with them. But today I saw a particular, but again, when people post them, I try to look at their meaning of what they're saying. But I saw a post that said that when you're good at something, you tell everybody, but when you're great at something, they tell you. And I kind of got what the person was trying to say, but then I thought about it a little differently. I said, wait a minute now. Nobody will ever know who you are if you don't show them. And if you're waiting on people to discover you, then you might take the chance of never really making it. You know what I'm saying? So you can't really wait on people to tell you whether you're good or bad at something. Don't worry about being good or great at it. Just do it. Like Yoda tells Luke Skywalker, there is no try, either do or do not. And I thought that quote was like weird, but I thought about it. Like, it's no trying. Don't try it, just do it. And something will come out of it. It may not be what you think will come out of it, but if you keep doing it, something will happen.
Absolutely. Don't try it, just do it. Man, don't try it. Like, yeah, what's the point in trying when you can simply just do it?
Yep.
Words from a wise man. Words from a wise man. There's no need in trying. All you got to do, y'all heard it. Y'all, the viewers out there, everybody who's listening and tuned in, you're hearing him. Like he's telling you straight up. You don't have to like be stuck in your brain and your head trying to figure
Yep.
it out. All you got to do is like literally have the faith, step out and just do it. There is no trying about it. Let me ask you
Are
this.
you?
Go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead.
trying to make it up. Are you? I'm fired up. I'm excited now.
Hey,
But, but
listen,
do,
that's
do
what
you know?
I'm
Do
with
you
you.
know that? Do you know the Asian actress that goes by the name of Aquafina?
Yeah, for sure.
When you get a chance, look at her off-camera interview. She had an interview, right, and she said, and I watched that a lot, for motivation. But I remember her saying that she was like working somewhere, and she was like, when she went home from her job that she had, she was just posting over there, and they would tell her like, don't post, don't post, but she ended up posting anyway, and it ended up going viral. But what would happen if she just said, I'll try? She
Right.
didn't try, she did it. Like, everybody that's ever been successful, they didn't try it, they did it.
They just
And
did it.
so again, don't worry about whether it is successful or it get a lot of views or not or whatever. Just do it and keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. It'll work out.
It'll work
It'll
out.
work out.
And like you said, going back to what you said earlier, all things, they're working together.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it, man. That's scripture, that's Bible, that's just a true word. All things, good, bad, indifferent, all the challenges in between, all things are working together for your good. Let me ask you this. One last question for you. Seven. We all know seven to be the number of completion.
Yep.
Regardless to whatever it is, things that you're working on, things that may not have already come to pass. Seven is that number of completion. So for you, over the course of the next 7 years, where do you see yourself? What do you see coming to pass?
I think I'll be licensed as a funeral director. I think I'll be further in wrestling, and I think I'll be doing some really big stuff in film. And to be honest with you, I'll probably be back preaching too. So.
Oh, we got a preacher in there too?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Man.
I mean, because again, I mean, like I said, I told God, that I didn't want to preach His word for money. I didn't want to use His kingdom as a mean to hustle people out of money, like I see some people doing. I'm not knocking them for it. I mean, that's between them and God or whatever. But I'm like, Lord, I will minister Your word and do that too. But I want to have a balanced life. I want to earn my own living. I want to, do things that I enjoy, but also I want to be able to help people too. I don't want to look down on people. I don't want to, be too hard on people. I just want to be the person that God called me to be, and do things as right as possible. I mean, I don't walk around like I can walk on water, but life is about growth. You know, I mean, the Bible tells us to grow in grace and the knowledge of Jesus. And I mean, that's all I'm trying to do, man. Is just be a decent person. I'm not gonna say a good person, but a decent person.
Right.
And I only say that because nobody. I put it like this: none of us have everything together. I don't really like to say nobody's perfect, but we try to get better. And I mean, I don't look down on anybody. I mean, I respect everybody for who they are. You
For
know.
sure. For sure. Nobody's perfect, and we are all a work in progress. We are all
Yeah.
striving to become better at the end of the day.
Yeah.
We really are. We know,
And
and I'll say that
yeah.
again for those who didn't hear. Nobody is perfect.
Yeah.
We are all striving to
Yeah.
be and become better.
And you know what? Like while you just said that, like it kind of made me go back to why, like I'll never take a job as a film critic. I mean, because you just made me think about when I was in film school. They used to see, other people film, and I kind of live by this principle that if you look for fault, you will find it.
Mm,
And so when I watch people work, I don't look at it like being too critical. Like I say, well, who is this person? Why did they make this story? It's a little different, but I mean, you have to understand you're looking at the camera from somebody else's lens. I mean, I know what I see, but I know that we already live in a world that's critical of everything. I mean, you got people that just nitpick at everything. Now don't get me wrong, constructive criticism is good, but to me, I always tend to find the good in things because again, if you look for fault, you will find. That's a very big principle that I live by. So when I see things, I don't try to look for fault. I try to see the uniqueness in people and what they're trying to do. So, and again, it doesn't matter if it's something that I agree with or disagree. Like I respect everybody for who they are. And I
right.
try to see because my thing is that you can't reach nobody like just being biased. Why did they do that and just attacking people or whatever? If you want to get to know people and find out, just ask questions. Don't assume anything. Just ask because to me, we all, I'm not going to say we all, but I look at like social media and I see when people do things like, I kind of hate to see all the mean comments some people get. But it's like, man, why are we so quick to attack people? Like, I'm not saying that you can't have an opinion, but if you don't really know somebody, you can't really form an opinion about somebody you really don't know. But you can ask, why did you choose to do this or that? And then maybe if they tell you, maybe you might understand, or maybe not. But at least give people the benefit of the doubt.
Absolutely, brother. You have such a compassionate heart. You have such a compassionate heart, and you definitely have a love for people. You have a love for people. You can tell. It's nothing fake that come across when you're talking about it. You can just feel it resonates. That you're passionate about this, and you're definitely living in your lane. Like you're doing everything with purpose and on purpose, and I'm proud of you for that, man. This is going to be very encouraging and very inspiring for the people out there, and especially for those people who are still trying to get it together, and they don't even have one career field or one thing that they are focused on, because they're just living from day to day with no expectations of life, with no expectation from themselves, with no expectation of living with purpose. You are a pure example of that on today. So I really just want to take this time to tell you, thank you so much for sharing what it is that you do. Thank you for being so passionate about what it is that you do. Thank you for sharing your gifts, your talents with the world. Man, we are literally glad to have you on the show today, man. It's been well worth it. I've been very excited over the weekend to get out and to share what it is that you do. And hopefully somebody will be able to walk away and say, wow, I feel inspired on today. I feel motivated to get up and get it done with no excuses, with no complaining, with no filling in the blank of why I can't get it done, especially after hearing you talk about, the three passions that you're living with, definitely and intentionally on purpose. So before we end on today, I want to ask you, where can people find out more information about you on the social media platforms? Let the people know.
Yep, so you can find my films on Vimeo, Wade Filmmaker 37s on Vimeo, and then on Wade Jedi 99 on Instagram.
All right. And say it again. Let the people know one more time for those that didn't get it the first time. Let them know again where they can find you at.
So Wade Filmmaker 777 on Vimeo, and then on Instagram, Wade Jedi 99. Excuse my voice, well, you already know about that, but yeah. I'm excited though, y'all. So
it's all good. It's all good. I'll make sure that I put it down in the description at the same time. So for everybody that get an opportunity to watch on YouTube and everything, they'll definitely see your description down at the bottom for those that want to get in contact with you, follow you, stay abreast with what you're doing, for sure. Go ahead.
And I always like to lead people with this. God dropped this scripture in my heart, and that's kind of the message that I tell everybody, that it's a scripture that says, so teach us to number our days that we might apply our heart unto wisdom. Just remember, all of our days are numbered. So, let's use those numbers wisely, and just keep this in mind. Time doesn't wait on nobody, which means you shouldn't wait either. So God bless you, and keep praying for your brother, and I keep praying for you too. God bless you.
I don't have anything else to say, brother. Just close us out with that one. And I'm grateful for it. Thank you so much for being on the Believe in Your Purpose podcast, man. I wish you much success, much love, brother, much happiness, and keep doing exactly what it is that you do, living with purpose. Thank you so much for being on the podcast, and I can't wait to have you back for part 2.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it.
For sure, brother. Take care of yourself.
All right, thanks.
For sure.